completing the square is a method of solving that we use for quadratic equations. And what you need to first understand is that when you complete the square, your goal is actually to get a perfect square binomial so that you can use square roots to solve the quadratic equation. A perfect square binomial looks like this. It's x plus something or minus something squared. So like say x plus 1 squared, that's a perfect square binomial. What you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a part of the equation that looks kind of like this. So it'll look like x squared plus say 6x and plus some number. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out what number goes in here so that you could factor the trinomial, this trinomial. What number could go in there in order to factor that trinomial so it's a perfect square. So the way to do it is to recognize that this number here in the middle, the 6, that this number here in the middle has to actually get divided evenly. So how do you divide something evenly? You divide it by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. And so what we're looking for is x plus 3 times x plus 3. Because when you FOIL it, it'd be x squared plus 3x, then plus 3x, and that will get you x squared plus 6x. But with foiling, you have to do it one more time, so the 3 times is 3 plus 9. So you need this number over here to be the 9. And so in order to complete the square so that you could factor it as x plus 3 squared, you would need 9 there. And so the way to do it easily is take the middle number, divide it by 2, and then square it. Once you square it, that'll tell you immediately what number you need to put there so that you can factor it nicely. So that's the goal. You need a perfect square binomial in order to solve these things by square roots. So let's try it out. Example number 1 will look like this. X squared plus 6x plus 4 equals 0. What you need to do is you have to check to make sure a equals 1. So the number in front of x squared is 1, so we can move on with the process. Next thing you want to do is get the x's on one side and move the constant terms to the other. So I'll subtract 4, and that gives me x squared plus 6x, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that plus a blank and equals negative 4, and what we do to one side we have to do the other, so plus the blank. So whatever I put in the blank I will actually have to put on the other side as well and add it to the other side. So to run through this, you're going to divide the middle term by 2 because we want to split it up evenly, so that's 3, and then we know it'll end up being 3 times 3, so 3 squared, which equals 9, and that's the number that you're going to add into both blanks. So 9 goes here and 9 goes there. After that, you are going to factor, and so you're going to factor x squared plus 6x plus 9, and that factors to x plus 3 times x plus 3, but we're going to write it as x plus 3 squared, and it equals negative 4 plus 9, which is 5. And now we can solve this by square roots. If you don't remember how to do that, there is a video on it to go review it, but you just square root this side, square root that side, and so we have x plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 5, because I don't know what that is in my head. It'll be some kind of decimal, and we're going to get x alone. Subtract 3, x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 5. Alright, and so that's how you would factor or solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. Let's take a look at one example where the a value equals 1 or is bigger than 1, and then we should see something change just slightly, but it should be the same. 2x squared plus 16x plus 18 equals 0. So to solve this by completing the square, we're first and foremost going to make a equal 1. So in order to make a equal 1, we're going to divide. So divide everything by 2. Whatever that number is in front of the x squared, we're going to divide it all by the same value. So 2's in front, so we're going to divide everything by 2. If a 5 had been in front, I'd divide everything by 5. And so we have x squared plus 8x plus 9 equals 0. Now we're going to move the constant term over. We'll subtract it over. And once again, we'll have our blank. So x squared plus 8x plus a blank equals negative 9. And we'll figure out what goes inside this blank. Oh, forgot my blank on the other side. Plus a blank. We'll figure out what goes on the other side by dividing the middle term by 2, because we want to split it up evenly, so that's a 4. And then 4 squared equals 16, and so that's the number that you're going to put, oh, I wrote a 12. 16 and 16. And so we will have to factor, and that would be x plus 4 squared. And it equals 7. And we will square root both sides and solve our answer. X plus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 7. And when we subtract 4 over, we'll have an answer of x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 7. And that is how you solve quadratic equations using completing the square. All right, have a great day.